I've ever had. Oh my god.
Wow, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, the best sex I've ever had.
I hate this question.
The best sex I've ever had? Oh man.
It was actually after Avia and after the first Ask a Porn Star that I ever did, I had the best sex of my life. And we had really awesome, like anal, vag, everything sex, like back and forth. Oh my god, never have I come so hard. Yeah, my first Ask a Porn Star day with you guys, seriously one of the best days of my life. Brand new, like 2 weeks into the industry. I was so nervous and I was so scared and had no idea what to do, what to expect. I had my first scene and all the like pressure released afterwards. And like knowing that I could do it and that I accomplished it, I went home and fucked the shit out of my boyfriend at the time, and that was probably the best sex. It was so like just the weight had been lifted and I was free. So it was fun. The first time I had an orgasm from sex, I would say it was my best sex. It was my second boyfriend, and he knew how to make me squirt, and I had never experienced that before. And I was like, we basically just had sex for like a month straight. It was awesome.
The best sex I've ever had was with a Russian stripper.
It's kind of the first time I explored my bisexuality. To have a man and a female for the first time was probably, the best experience.
I have sex for a living, so it's like to say what's the best, because every time you think something like, that was amazing, someone new like does something and stuff like that.
I would say in this period of my life now, like the last 2 years, that I've been with my partner especially, I think probably because I started having anal sex and I wasn't really active in that before, but this is something that him and I do, and it's opened me up like in a lot of different ways. So it's very intense. I realized that in having anal sex, I have extremely intense orgasms, and I was really resistant to it before for a long time. It wasn't something that I did on camera. It was just kind of too taboo for me, and I never did things on camera that I thought would bring me, like if it was something that I even thought mildly would bring me pain, and I'll just be completely honest, I was kind of a pillow queen. It was probably the second time I had sex with my husband, only because the first time we had sex, we were out drinking all night and I was super drunk and I ended up falling asleep on him, so yeah, the second time.
I don't want to sound corny or nothing, but I gotta be honest, and honestly, my partner that I'm with now, we have the best sex ever. I've had really great sex and with a lot of different men, like, I don't know, probably like 500 to 1,000, who's counting? But just with him, it's so different. It's like that's what sex is supposed to be, you know what I mean? Like, people have sex for all different types of reasons, but the sex I have with him is like, that's what it's supposed to be. That's what lovemaking is. I guess I'm just blessed to have so much fucking good sex in my life that I can't narrow it down. I recently did a scene with 6 other people, and I was having such a good time just watching everyone that I couldn't even concentrate on my orgasm, which was fine. I did do a gangbang, and that was really amazing. I love doing gangbangs, and this particular gangbang that I did in December, it was called As Above, So Below. It was like a gangbang in hell. And I had fire eaters and people doing suspensions and all these BDSM whippings and stuff behind me on a stage while I was doing the gangbang in front of the stage. So it was a lot of excitement and activity going on, and I felt like I entered the underworld, and I did double anal for a good 40 minutes or something. I guess you can watch the video and see, but I think it's around that amount of time. I did everything, and it was a really amazing experience. I felt afterwards, I had climbed Mount Everest or something. I don't know, I kind of try to take each experience for the moment and just enjoy it, because sex is sex, and sex is great. My girlfriend was sleeping right next to me, and I decided that I wanted to eat her out, and I had prior consent to wake her up and fuck her if I wanted to. So I went under the covers and I started eating her out. I don't know, I just thought it was going to be romantic and stuff, but I ended up sitting on her face and spitting on her and saying things really demeaning and filthy, and it was really intense. The best sex I have ever had. Oh man, I've had so much good, weird sex. The one that stands out in my mind is just I was having sex with my husband, and I came really hard and I started to cry, because it just like was so good and I was so happy, and I was just like, it's just one of those things where you're like so happy you cry. It's never happened to me before, and he did not know what to do, and he was so like scared, and he was like, oh my god, like what did I do? Like, are you okay? And I'm just like, oh, it was so awesome. I worked in a science lab for a while, and one of my peers and I did it in the microscope room. The best sex I've ever had on set was actually recently. There was just a connection and everything was intimate and we vibed and we clicked. In my personal life, that usually involves anal and hitachi. I don't think I've had it yet. I was with my partner, Ricky, and we were at home. I did a little bit too much acid probably, but it was like pretty out of this world. I feel like I'm getting that all the time with my recent partner. One time we were literally sharing a bowl of marijuana while fucking, smoking and fucking. It was something else, and it was awesome. The best sex I had would be, I had sex for 5 hours and I was so sore and I was so cut up because the person kind of had like facial hair a little bit. So they like really like cut me up, but for some reason I loved it. It was a live sexual performance, so he was tasing me and fucking me with the dildo, and at one point he made me squirt a bunch. So I'm like covered in squirt and sitting like in a puddle of squirt, and he starts tasing the squirt, which makes like the electricity go everywhere because I'm just like covered in it, and it was really cool. So I really have a thing for public sex. And actually, the very first time that I had sex with my current partner was under the 6th Street Bridge in Los Angeles before they tore it down. And it was one of our favorite hangout spots. We would go under the bridge and drive on the river and whatever. And there was something really exciting about banging down there. Yeah, the best sex I ever had was about 3 months ago. I just remember grabbing the sheet and I was like, damn, this is better than my guy. And then I just went into another realm. This was actually at a party that I threw. Just a whole bunch of hoes, one house, doing hoe things. I was home and I called one of my friends over. We were outside in between, fucking, and we're having a cigarette, and he just went at it. He pulled my pants down, stuffed my face in the car. The next day when I was like driving around, I was like around all day running errands and stuff. I parked my car and I realized I had like a face print of my makeup on the hood, and I had butt prints on the window, and I was like, oh my god, it's like so obvious that we had sex all over the car. I have so much sex and all sex is different, and then I can't have the same sex all the time. I really can't. I can't like pick, oh, this is the best and I have to have that all the time. No, because I'm a Gemini and I get bored and I go with the wind. So I want to have like different sex all the time because I don't want to eat the same thing every day. Every sex should be the best sex of your life, and you should try to aim for that every single time, or else what are you doing?